on his farm, and every month or two he had to take Nellie and go get all his supplies. And it's a 5-mile walk with Nellie. So they went, they said, Nellie, we got to go get the supplies again. So Nellie stands up, he's all excited, and he goes, and they start walking, and walking, they finally get there. They get all the supplies on there, have a little extra breakfast, and they start heading home. It was a 5-day trip. And all of a sudden, Sam realized he didn't get his water. He didn't get his water. He looked in all his supplies. He only had 3 bottles of water for 5 days. He didn't know what to do. He said, Nellie, there's 2 choices I have. We can go through the desert and it'll only be 3 days or 2.5. Or we can walk the same way we came, it'll be 5. But Nellie, we don't have enough water. What do you think we should do, Nellie? Should we go the short way through the desert? Can you do it? Nellie shakes his head, yes, we can do it. Let's go through the desert. So they were going through the desert the first day. He gave little sips of water. They were doing fine. He woke up the next morning, and then he realized he's down to only 1.5 bottles. He still has 1.5 miles to go. He doesn't know what to do. He says, Nellie, I can't give you all this water. I'm sorry. I won't drink any. Can we make it? Nellie shakes his head. Yes, we can make it. So they kept on going a little. Then all of a sudden, Nellie was starting to get slower and slower. And so they decided to sit down and rest for a little bit. Got up, gave him a couple more sips. He got up, they started going a little farther. Still wasn't there. Nellie he's wearing out. He got all this stuff, so he takes a couple of the bags and he puts them on his shoulder instead to carry it. And they went a little farther than Nellie. All of a sudden, Nellie just fell over. Nellie, I'm so sorry. I put too much on your back. I forgot the water. What are we going to do, Nellie? You got to get up, Nellie. Please get up. It's not far. It's not far, Nellie. He finally coaxes Nellie to stand up. And he's standing up. And he'll go in probably a little farther. And Nellie falls over again. He says, Nellie, you just rest for a few minutes. Nellie rested. He got him up again. Then he fell over. He said, Nellie, you can't give up now. You can't give up now, Nellie, because it's still close. You can't give up, Nellie. And it's like Nellie saying, how much farther do I have to go? And he says, Nellie, not far, not far, not far. Please, Nellie, get up. Please, Nellie, get up. Finally, Nellie stood up. And he looks up. Then Nellie's ears perked up. And he stood up with some energy. He said, see, yes, I can see it. The house is way down there. You see, we're going to make it, Nellie. We're going to make it. We can see it. We can see it. You're going to make it. And they crippled along, and they got to the house. He took Nellie into the barn, and he filled up the water trough. He filled up the hay trough. So he said, Nellie, eat and drink and eat and drink. Everything you want. Thank you, Nellie. He's hugging him. He goes into the house, eats some bread, and goes to bed. He got up in the morning really excited to go out and see Nellie, see how he did, and thank him. When he got to the barn, Nellie was laying down dead. He died. He said, no, Nellie, you don't die. Wake up, Nellie. Wake up, Nellie. But see, Nellie had this disease. What he did is he looked at the water and said, wow, I want water. Looked at the hay and said, wow, I want hay. He said, maybe I should have the water. Maybe I should have the hay. Maybe I should have the water. Maybe I should have the hay. Maybe I should have the water. Maybe I should have the hay. And he dropped over dead. He had the disease called paralysis of analysis. How many of you have that? Maybe I should go to church tonight. Maybe I shouldn't go to church. Maybe I don't need to go to church. Well, maybe we should go to church. We'll go through it anyhow. You see, what about the decisions you have to make in your life? Do you stand there and say, wow, what should I do? I don't know. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I shouldn't do it. You end up doing nothing. So many people in our world today are lazy and wonder why they have nothing. How about you? You see, there's three kinds of people. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that wonder what happened. Which one are you? You see, only you can make that choice, because it's your choice, not chance, that determines destiny. Okay, before I go any further, I got to get you ready to listen to me. You see, I never talk to anybody right away until I get them ready to listen. And it's called my Get Up and Go program. You want to know why I'm so young? I'm giving you part of it today, and in 4 days, 3.5 days, you'll know why you can be young. You can be energized. You can have the power that God can give you to be who you want to be, or He wants you to be. So everybody stand up. We're going to do my Get Up and Go program. Okay, and it's do what Simon does. Okay, here's what you got to do. Make some room in between, because you all look a little tired. You're not even ready to listen. So I'm not going to talk if you're not going to listen to me. Would you talk to somebody if they're not listening? It's like the man who's talking to his wife. She's not even listening to him. Well, it's usually the opposite way. The man isn't listening to her. I know what that's all about. Okay, here's the first thing we're going to do. Take your arms like this. You see what we're going to do? We're going to do these. This is the breast build-up, bust build-up. We're going to start only with a few of them today, but once you get going, you can start with more. I do 100 of these every morning as soon as I get up. Okay, stop. Take a deep breath. A deep one. Okay, next one, come fly with me. This one you're going to do like this. Wow, this is exciting, isn't it? Got everybody wrestling. Okay, now reverse them. We're gonna wake up every muscle in your body. And then you'll be ready. Okay, stop. Take a deep breath again, please. Okay, this one here, be a cut up. Don't pull too hard. I want you to pull easy, because we're not here to build muscles. I already got them. Wow, you can see what I can see. It's pretty funny. Stop. Okay, now you do this one. Don't do it too hard. Don't want you to pull your muscles out or anything right now. You start slow, and then you can do what I do by the end of the week. Okay, stop. Take a couple of deep breaths, please. Okay, now this one is spread your legs a little and fly with me. Fly with me. Wow, this is neat. Oh, everybody's getting energized. Okay, stop and take 2 breaths. If you'll notice, as you were going down, that last one is now working on the bottom of the back. It first started with the shoulder, then the neck, and then down the spine, and now the bottom of the back. Okay, now this one is, watch this. Like this, bend like that. Don't bend too far, just enough. We're pulling that back apart right now, those back muscles. Okay, back up, 2 deep breaths again. Okay, this one we go like this. But turn the next person next to you and bow down to them, okay? Have you ever been bowed down by your husband, ladies? Bow down to somebody. Okay, we got 10 of those. Bow down. Yes, give them praise. Yes. Their attitude will raise if you give them praise. Otherwise, they'll just be in a little craze or a maze. Okay, stop. Now, this last one is one that works on the heart, and I got to show you what I do. Okay, and this one, don't do it yet. I take my hands like this, and I go up like that, and I hold my breath. And then you come down and you let, like playing a trumpet or an instrument, you let only a little bit of air coming out. Watch me. You got that? You go. Oh, what? Oh, okay, I was wondering what you're doing. Yeah, so now you got to take your hands up, taking the air in right now. Okay? And you hold it for around 5 or 6 counts. Once, in around 2 or 3 weeks, you'll be able to hold it for around 10 or 12 counts. And it's going to help your brain as well. So you hold it, and then you let it out this really slow, not open your mouth, like that, really slow coming down. Out. Okay, let's do it again. Now, turn to 3 people and shake their hand and say, I'm excited, okay? 3 people, you got to shake their hands. See, most people are afraid to shake anybody's hand. They're timid. When I do a weekend seminar, they have shook at least 100 people's hands, different people and back and forth. They're not afraid to shake hands now. Shake their hands and say, God loves you. I want to hear that. God loves you. That's what this is all about. I normally ask how many of you will do whatever I say for 30 days if you can be better off physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and financially. How many will do that? Okay, that was just the beginning, because it will happen for you if you let it happen. You see, life is just a minute, like I said. It's so many minutes. Time is so short. A minute is so important. We have 1,440 minutes in a day. What are you doing with yours? That's a bank account that God gave you. You have 1,400, because time is money, $1,440 in a bank account that only you can spend or invest, and it's gone at midnight. What are you going to do with yours today? Now I want to talk about the water. Oh, over here. Sorry. Okay. Go back. We got to get to the first one. There it is. Now it's not showing on the screen. Okay, there you go. That's better. Thank you. What's that? Sorry, they're getting me geared up. Thank you. Yes. All right. Let's talk about our lives. What are you doing with your life every day? How many of you drink at least 8 glasses of water every day? That's a pretty good amount of the people here. Did you know 24 years ago, a Japanese group came to me. Okay, I tend to move around. I stand a lot, because if you stand more, if you sit so much, you get old. If you stand, you can live a lot longer. How many want to live a lot longer? Well, then standing up. You try and do that. That's why they're just made offices now. You've seen them where you can stand up at your desk. You roll it up, and people are getting healthier and not getting as sick. But 24 years ago, the Japanese came to me and told me that they discovered the 3 major causes of old age, sickness, and all disease. And they said to me, all disease. I said, wow, I just got through helping build a couple of nutritional companies, and that nutrition doesn't work too good. So I'm interested in hearing about this. And I said, what's the solution? They said the solution is this restructured water that we have. And they showed me this machine. And I drank some of the water. It didn't taste too bad. I was a popaholic. I was probably drinking 5 or 6 Cokes a day. Every day. I didn't like water. And so it was strange to me, but I tasted this water and it didn't taste too bad. So I took some with me when the first time we met. And then when we met 3 months later in another part of the country, because I was across the country doing my seminars, I drank some more of the water, some more gallons. It did taste pretty good. One day I didn't have a Coke. And then we met again, and they said they wanted a decision. That was 11 months later. Well, one of the persons that helped me make that decision, I don't have his book, I'll have it this afternoon, is Dr. Brody, who wrote the book, Alkalize or Die. Alkalize or Die. And he took one of my machines and he treated over 5,000 gallons on his patients. And I'll have his testimony tonight, later. And he said every person had a positive result. This is Dr. Alkalize or Die. And I said, what a better confirmation could that be than God himself? So I said yes to the manufacturer, and here I am. The very first, I do seminars, and so I put together a presentation. I called some friends in Phoenix, Arizona, who are in the health field, big, and I said, I've got this new instrument, and it's water. He said, water? I said, yes, just listen to me out. I want to be there in 2 days. You put together some people. I'm going to put together a presentation. And I flew in. I hadn't seen my presentation yet. They put a sheet on the window in the restaurant. There were 12 people there, and I said, God, if you want me to continue, I want everybody to buy a machine today. I want them all to buy a machine, not a few of them, all of them. With God, all things are possible. If he really wants you to do something, you can ask him what you want to prove what he wants to do for you. And guess what? When I finished with the presentation, they all bought a machine. Wow. I said, God, this is it. I'm ready to go. You know, all kinds of things happened after that. And I'm just privileged. So now I want you to understand how water works. I have a presentation I put together that shows how water works. And my machine is called the Alkalizer. And I have my machines now in 29 countries. People's lives are being changed every day. Unbelievable. Wow, I am so blessed. Can you imagine somebody with cancer and still living? Somebody with arthritis doesn't have it anymore? Wow, somebody that can't walk is starting to walk. Can you imagine that in your church? We're Christians. We're supposed to be well. Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and heavy laden, I'll give you rest. I'll give you a peace that passes all understanding. How can you have rest in peace if you're limping, if you're sore, you got back pains, you got sore neck, you're getting sick all the time, you can't get out of bed? How can you have peace? Where's your peace supposed to come from? It comes from Jesus. Do you really have peace? You see, I'm going to share with you how my morning starts on the next one from that point. Because we got to get ready to serve. One of my cliches is, if you play tennis, the only way you can win is if you got a good serve. So I tell people, serve if you got the nerve. You see, we got to get up and have the nerve. God gives us the nerve every day to share. I've shared right over at the hotel. The one maid said, hey, Mr. Baltes, that she was way down the end. Well, how are you doing today? And we shared some positive things all the way through the hall so everybody could hear. That's exciting. Are you willing to do that? If you've got something, we have something so special to know the Lord. He's so real. He's alive if you let him be alive. But how can you let him be alive if you got up that morning, took the kids to school, had to race to work, and you were so busy doing everything? I had a men's meeting, and the men's that I had for around 7 years in Michigan in the morning. And some of the guys would say to me, well, Dave, you can do it. You can take time in the morning, but I can't. They said, because I got to get my kids to school, I got to get to work, I got to get this, that. And guess what? You know, David, I pray and read my Bible every night, I promise you, before I go to bed. You know what I say to them? What are you praying for? God only promised you today. That's what he has. And so you're praying for nothing. You got to get up in the morning, half an hour or so if you can't start any longer. And you got to get on your knees and you got to share with the Lord. So that he can use you today. He can take you through the day. I was talking to some of the officers. Some of the ways I had started my day almost all the time. I got a piece of paper out and I put on one side the things I think I need to do. Not you, not somebody else. I need to do. On the other side, it's like a Ben Franklin clothes. On the other side, I put the things I need today, God. I need. You got the eyes? And to look with them. and then, you know what I do with them? I got so strong that I found out I'll write them all out, and I scrunch it up, and I throw it in the basket. And I say, God, now that you're taking care of all those things for me, because you promised me you would meet my needs. You promised me you would help me through. And I throw them there. What do you want me to do for you now that I don't have to think about what I have to do? And he opens the doors. Wouldn't you like to have the doors open? You're walking down the street and he stops you because somebody's right in front of you and you say, excuse me. And you got to talk to him about the Lord. And that's what he'll do for you. It's one day at a time. The pump you must prime, or life won't be sublime, and you'd have to live on a dime, and that'd be a crime. God doesn't want you to live in poverty. We make choices. Yes, sometimes we're locked in, but there's a way through God that he can do the things you never thought he could do, never thought he would do. So now we're going to talk about water. That's my favorite thing. Let me have a drink of my water. I wish you could have one. It is delicious. Wow. Living water. My machine is called the alkalizer. Water is the chemistry of life. Life on earth depends on water. The bodies of all individual organisms are composed of 70 to 90% water. How much water are you really drinking today? But before I go any farther, when I first got in this business 24 years ago, the bottled water industry was only $1 billion. Last year, $24 billion. Do you think the doctors care about it? Did you know that the doctors are actually poisoning you to death? Did you know that? They give you one prescription. You know what that one is? You got to drink a lot of water. But they don't know what's in that water that they're giving you. According to all the studies in Japan, 90 to 95% of all diseases come from your water, from the bottled water you're drinking. It's sort of like having, I got a paper here. It's sort of like well, you can't see it. Maybe you can. It's sort of like having a glass of acid here and a big glass of alkaline. And you got to make a choice. And 99% of the people in the world choose acid. Cancer, diabetes, heart problems, arthritis, all these diseases dwell in an acid body. You got to get your body alkaline. When I first started on the water, I was taking nutrition and stuff because of the company that was around $250, $300 a month. I said, okay, I'm going to see if this water really works. So I was going from one hole to hell to the next. I hooked it up. First 30 days, I didn't feel any different. Then I cut my nutrition in half. And I thought, I wonder if I'm going to feel less. And I still felt the same. And then I don't recommend this, by the way, but I talk to your doctors. And then I dumped it all. And I didn't feel any different, just energized. And I haven't taken vitamins in 20-some years. Isn't that exciting? My wife and I, in the first 8 years, saved over $40,000 on prescriptions she didn't need anymore. We didn't drink sodas. They cost a fortune when you're drinking 6 and 8 a day. And that, and the foods we ate, everything, it came out to $40,000. So now, there's probably $150,000 we already saved. That's a great investment, isn't it? And we're younger, we're energized, we're real, because God gave us this water, this prescription that the doctor should be giving you is a prescription for alkaline water instead of acid water. Dasani, Aquafina, Gatorade, Penta, vitamin water, mineral water, smart water, RO water, distilled water, they are all acid. They make them that way. They leach minerals out of your body, calcium out of your bones, and dehydrate your system. Later on this afternoon, I'll get some of the bottles and I'll show you the test that it is real. So let's continue on. Why do you drink water? Because you're thirsty? Because you just think you're supposed to drink it? You're healthier? You feel better because you drink water? How much water do you drink a day? How many drink, I want to see those hands again, at least 8 glasses of water a day? Not that many. You see, according to all the studies, and I've been in this water business for 24 years, been back and forth Japan, speak there, train people and so forth. According to all those studies, even a lot of the people in USA and Jamaica, the doctor said you should probably be drinking half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weighed 100 pounds, you would drink 50 ounces of that water. That's 6 8-ounce glasses. So we all, almost everybody in here is over 100 pounds. So if you're not drinking those 6 glasses, you're in trouble. In the wintertime, it's just as bad as it is in the summertime. Your body doesn't seem like it's thirsty or dehydrated, but it is. In the summertime, and especially here, and I live in Florida, in the summertime, you need to drink more water also than you were drinking before. And so let's go into what water really is. I'm just getting used to doing this one. Free radicals. Free radicals are one of the biggest discoveries of the cause of disease and old age in your lifetime. Free radicals. Is it working? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Oh, okay. Where do they come from? Pesticides, cigarette smoke, chemicals, carbon monoxide, processed food, food additives. You think you're eating the right food? Did you know that organic really isn't organic? We'll talk about that later. The one biggest thing that causes free radicals is stress. How many of you are stress-free, don't have any stress? Raise your hands. There's a few people. Wow, I'd like to meet you. I even have a few hours of stress sometimes. So they come from all these different things. How did they get in our bodies? We produce them to counteract what our bodies can't handle in our food, our drink, and our air. That's how they get in. Free radicals, what they attack your cells, the good cells as well as the bad cells. This breaks down your immune system, and that's how you become sick. Did you ever try and figure out why you're sick? Free radicals. That's the big thing. The oxidation of healthy cells by too much active oxygen in your body breaks down the cell. This makes it susceptible to infection and disease, and the free radicals are doing just that. The effects of oxidation. You see, oxidized tissue. The liver, it leads to hepatitis, psoriasis, cancer, pancreas, diabetes, cancer, and pancreas, kidney, neophytis, cancer, kidney disease. The one that always made me wonder is the one that's called, I forgot it. That's funny. Arthritis. I always wondered where they came up with these crazy names. Arthritis. I woke up one night and I was dreaming. I said, oh, I know the answer to that one, why they chose that one. The man must have been Arthur, and he always told us he was right. That's how he named it arthritis. So these names come from that. So how can we stop the free radicals from attacking our cells and causing the disintegration of healthy and tissue? How can we stop it? That's a good question. So let's go in to find out. Antioxidants. How many of you heard of antioxidants? Yes, wow. The Japanese came to me and said, David, do you know what an antioxidant is? I said, well, they're in drinks and stuff and fruit and vegetables. And how many of you know what an antioxidant really is? You see, they said, no, all it is an electron that acts as a scavenger to fight the free radicals that attack your cells. They said to me, well, I see everybody's talking about antioxidants in the USA. All the doctors, practitioners, antioxidants, get antioxidants. You won't have cancer, diabetes, heart problems, arthritis. You're going to live longer. No, they said, if that's true, David, why is everybody sick? You see, we have the opportunity to get antioxidants. But the problem was you can't get enough antioxidants in your body unless you do one thing that I didn't know about. Drink restructured alkaline water. They told me the water they wanted me to take to the world is loaded with electrons that act as scavengers to fight the free radicals that attack your cells. Wow! He said, you don't need to take, don't listen to me right now, you don't need to take all those vitamins. Your friends might not like you because you're not going to buy as many. Anyhow, you don't need to take all those vitamins. It's loaded with antioxidants. That's why people take the vitamins. And they said, you're going to find out because that rebuilds your immune system. So just drink up all your antioxidants and you're going to live a long life. And I've been doing that for 24 years. I'm always energized. I'm young. I can't get over how young I am. I look in the mirror and say, God, why me? I'm only David Baltes. I'm nobody. But he said, yes, you're somebody. Have you said that to the Lord? God, why me? Why me? Why me for this? He chose you. I told my son that I'm so privileged. He's a pastor of a church, Dr. David Baltes. I told him again on the phone, David, I'm proud of you. God chose you, my son. He chose my son. When I went to the ordination and they ordained him and 12 others, I said, God, why did you choose my son? He could have been a doctor. He could have been an attorney. He could have been anything. He's so smart. But my son answered the call, just like our brother here in his yellow shirt. He answered the call. And that's what happened to my son. I'm so blessed. I'm privileged. So we have to get well because we have a story to tell. How do antioxidants work? Antioxidants supply the electrons to free radicals, which blocks their interaction with normal tissue, thus keeping the cells healthy and you from getting sick. I used to have kidney stones, shingles, viruses, in and out of the hospital, strep throats 3 times a year for 6 or 7 years in a row. The doctor on the last one said, if you have one more, I'm keeping you and I'm taking your tonsils out. Fortunately, I got on the water. I haven't had but a few sniffles, and I had some problems because my brother had died with mourning, but God gave me sunshine through the day anyhow, and here I am, alive and well. None of those things, Do you want that cancer? Do you want that arthritis? Do you want that pain? How many of you today have a pain in your shoulder, your back, or somewhere? Raise your hand. Wow! Like they say, 85% of Americans have a back pain sometime. How many of you would like to get rid of that pain? Wow, exciting. I'm going to be sharing with you how that can happen. Isn't this great that God has come up with solutions that you and I can understand? It's called the alkalizer. That's my trademark. The super antioxidant for today. The super antioxidant. Isn't that exciting? Where does it come? What does it do? Who invented it? What are some of the results? How can I get one? We'll talk about that later. But we're going to go through what does it do? How the alkalizer unit works. Water goes from the faucet into the machine. And there's a filter in there. The filter takes out chlorine, chloramine, arsenic, lead. And then it goes, and here's how it works. It pulls all the acidic minerals to the alkaline side, which are chlorine, chloramine, arsenic, and lead, through a hose going into the sink. Takes it right out of the water. Then it pulls all of the positive minerals, which are alkaline minerals, which I've been talking about. Calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium from their natural source. So when you drink that water out of that flex tube, you're drinking pure, restructured alkaline water. Not only does it have the minerals in it, but because of the negative charge, it splits the water. It pulls all the acidic minerals here, pulls all the alkaline, so it makes the water smaller in size. So water comes in clusters, and if we look at a cluster of water, of any waters, let's take all the other waters but mine, and it will make them a grape cluster, and there'll be 12 to 14 grapes on any other water. That's how size of the water cluster is. But on mine, there are only 4 to 6 grapes. That's how much smaller this water is. It goes through your body twice as fast. It's more absorbable, more permeable, breaks into the cellular barriers, brain cell barriers, feeds, cleanses, oxygenates, energizes, turns your body into an alkaline state where cancer, diabetes, heart problems, arthritis, whatever it is, can't live in it. You see, the doctors, they're giving you the prescription to die because they're telling you to drink water. They didn't tell what kind of water. If all these other waters are all acid, they're killing you. And according to Japanese, 90% of all diseases, the root of it is acidosis and dehydration and free radicals. And so if the water's smaller in size, breaks into those cells and it just energizes your body. It's just it's living water. It's just flowing through my body because it's the gift that God gave me to bring to you today. Wow, we are so blessed. We can look at the alkalizer antioxidant versus other antioxidants. The substance, the alkalizer, molecular weight is only 18. We have beta-carotene, 150, vitamin E, 153, vitamin C, 156. Wow, that's the difference in the weight content. And for household, so let me tell you the differences that you can use this water. The acid water is restructured acid water that you can use on the outside of your body. Isn't that, or you can brush your teeth with it, cleans the plaque on your teeth, gargle with it, it kills bad breath. You can wash your vegetables. So I said about organic, but we'll forget that part at the moment. You can wash your vegetables in the acidic water for around 5 or 6 or 7 minutes, scrub them with your fingers, and then you put them in alkaline water, scrub them, and then you put them in a what? I can't hear you. Yeah, you put them in a steamer. I cook them every day. You put them in a steamer with our alkaline water, and you have alkaline vegetables. You've never eaten a vegetable that good. I had some vegetables yesterday over here at the restaurant. They didn't taste like mine. Mine are alkaline. They're so delicious. They're just loaded with energy. And that's the only way I eat them. When I go to a restaurant, I don't want to eat any of their vegetables. They're not cooked right. So you can cook them. I guarantee you will never want to eat vegetables again unless they're made with that steamer with our alkaline water. And then you can take your beef, if you have beef, if people that eat meat, I probably shouldn't talk about that here, but you can take your beef and your chicken, and you can soak it in the alkaline water for 45 minutes or more. I mean, in the acid water for 45 minutes or more. It kills all the germs. You'll see the blood coming out, everything. It's clean. Then you soak it in the alkaline water for 15 or 20 more minutes. Now you have alkaline meats of sort for anybody that does that. So now you can even wash your floors, your mirrors, your windows. You can do so much with this water. And ladies, in your plants, you use the plants, the green plants, you use alkaline water on it. The flowering plants, I mean, you use alkaline water. The green plants, you use the acidic water on them. Your plants will live a lot longer. If the plants can live twice as long, so can you, right? That's a good sign. And it helps with the flowers and those things. And what I found out is that people just don't care to do something different. I guarantee if you had this water, you would be so impressed. Acid water for sterile, for hospitals, doctor's office, dentist's office. If your dentist did a bunch of work on your mouth, if he sold you a gallon of this water and you rinse in it, you'll be healed up in half the time. Wounds, if you cut yourself, like I cut my finger, for instance, it's bleeding away. I can put it under the acidic water. In a minute and a half or 2 minutes, it stopped bleeding. And in a day and a half or 2 or 3, it's already healed. It heals in half of the time. Scars, it breaks down. It helps. You can put eye drops in your eyes. And before you go to bed, ladies, you can take the acidic water and bathe your face after you took off your makeup like this for 2 minutes. And you let it dry. It makes your skin more taut and more supple. Wrinkles diminish. Acne is gone. Burns and wounds heal in half of the time. These are just a few of the things you can do with this water. You don't have to buy all that junk that people use and doesn't work. I shouldn't have said junk. Sorry. Sonia here didn't like me saying junk. I could tell. So anyhow, you can use it for so many things. That's the beauty of this machine. It isn't just to drink water. And so let's look at some more things. Pushing the wrong button. The alkalizer. Antioxidants supply electrons to free radicals, which blocks their interaction with normal tissue, thus keeping the cells healthy and you from getting sick. If you have an office or a factory, if they were drinking my water, they wouldn't be getting sick as often. They would have less absenteeism. You'll have more money and they'll be more alert. They'll be able to accomplish way more. Is this showing up on the screen? Yeah, okay. The alkalizer drinkers have made some of these testimonies credited to just regular consumption. Let me tell you about what happened, the first miracles. Within 6 months from that meeting I had in Phoenix, one of my people that bought the machine called me up and said, my best friend is in the hospital and they're going to cut his second leg off. He said, can you help him? I said, yes, I can. I said, I want you to get 3 gallons of the acidic water out of your machine in a bucket and 3 gallons of the alkaline water. Take it into the hospital. And to get him to start soaking his foot in the acid and drinking the alkaline. In 3 days, he already saw new skin growing. He said to the doctor, give me a couple more days because I think this is working. Don't cut my leg off. The doctor said, no, I got to cut it out. If you don't get the leg cut off today, I'm not responsible for your death. I didn't know what he did until 3 months later. I was doing a meeting in Phoenix again. And I was doing the meeting, and after I got in 10 minutes or so, this guy was, somebody opened the door, and this guy was in a wheelchair. And he wheeled himself and he's yelling, you saved my life! You saved my life! I didn't even know who he was. He gets up to the front. He said, David, I'm that man that you talked about that was going to get his leg cut off. And let me show you something. He took his shoe and his sock off and he had a new foot. He had a new foot. I've seen so many people saved of legs or arms or toes. Whatever. We have the solution here. We're blessed. Another one came the second day of the meeting. He was in a wheelchair. He was a young guy. His friend wheeled him up to the front and said, David, watch. He got up and he stood up and he walked. He hadn't walked in 3 years. Just from drinking the water. Can you imagine if he had the rest of my stuff? Wow. This is a wow. Yes. I always say wow, W-O-W, the wonder of a woman. Because you're always wondering what your wife's going to say next, right? So anyhow, Those were two. And then one of my sisters, who was a vice president of an insurance company, she had her machine on that second floor, and everybody was drinking her water. They gave me a call one night and said the people that clean are cleaning, and they have a daughter that has dialysis. And it's 2.5 years already, and she's going to die unless she gets a kidney. Can you do anything for her? Well, at the moment, I didn't really know, so I called Japan, and they told me, here's what you do, David. You get a glass, a 12-ounce glass, fill it up with level 1, because there's 4 levels. Fill it up with level 1 and a straw. Because if you're a diabetic on dialysis, you can only drink 28 to 32 ounces of liquid, all liquids. So I didn't know how that was going to work. They said, start on level 1 for a week and a half or 2. Then go to level 2, they're probably drinking 14 to 16 ounces now. Go to level 3, they're probably drinking almost 20 ounces, and the doctor can't believe it. And guess what happened? They told me in 3.5 to 5 months, what'll happen is the kidneys will start working again. Did you hear that? The kidneys will start working again. I had a hard time believing it. But the 3.5 months exactly, they called me at night, and they're yelling, David, David, we went to the doctor today to get the dialysis treatment. And the doctor looked at my daughter, and he slammed the book down, and he left the room. And then he came back, and he said, wow, you don't need me anymore. And he said, please don't tell anybody. So they got down to the stairs where the receptionist and a nurse was. He had them planted. He told them, tell them that this isn't medically proven, so they can't tell anybody about this. Do you think that guy wanted those other 10 people off dialysis at $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, or $8 or $100 a day? No, he doesn't. He didn't recommend one person. He didn't come and see it. He wasn't interested in these people getting well. We need every doctor there is. We need every kind of practitioner there is. They all play a part, a certain part. But I have something that could help everything they are doing to make their patients get well. And they'd have a better story to tell, and they'd have more customers because they're getting people well. And that's what I have here to share, because this is real, and this is God-given. I'll tell you another one. In Phoenix, again, came from. The man called me and said, my friend, he wouldn't listen to me. 6 years ago, he had a quadruple bypass. And now he's going to have another one. I'm afraid he's going to die this time. And he said to me, can you help him? I said, I believe I can from what I know. Put him on the phone. He weighed 278 pounds. And so I told him, if you'll drink this water faithfully, this water breaks down the plaque in the blood before it can coagulate. So if you're drinking this water faithfully, you have a good chance of never having clogged arteries. So you won't have a heart problem. So you won't have a stent. So you won't have a pacer. Isn't that exciting? That's what can happen to you. So he started drinking the water, a gallon, then a gallon and a half, then 2 gallons, and then 2.5, and then 3 gallons. And on the 12th week, not 12th month, on the 12th week, they called me and said he didn't have to have the operation. His arteries were cleaned out. Cleaned out. That's what Jesus can do. He can clean out your arteries. He can clean out your body. He can clean out your mouth. He can clean out your life if you'll let him. Do you want to be energized by Jesus Christ, or do you want to be energized by the world and listen to what they have to say? That's what it's all about. And so I just want to leave you with just a few of those things, because this is so real. I'm going to share some more. And the next will be putting the walls up, the electric body, and then the anti-aging. And you're going to find out you can do all of them if you want to. You see, God says you can serve me if you want to. How many of you are really serving the Lord every day, morning, noon, and night? See, not many really lift their hands. When I get finished in the next 3 days, you're going to be able to lift your hands. You're going to be able to do that because my morning session and my morning thing that you're going to be doing will help you do exactly what I do. And I'm going to teach you how you can be 80 years old and still be alive. Isn't that exciting? Wow! I'm excited because I want to bring life back to you. Jesus said he wants to bring life and bring it abundantly. Well, here we are. We have the abundant life that only God can give you. So thank you again for listening, and we'll have many more things that you're going to know that God is in this, and this is his gift, not my gift, that you can have to use for the rest of your life and change your life. Wouldn't it be great to call your next door neighbor, hey, my arthritis is gone, I'm out of bed. Hey, my pain's gone, I don't need it anymore, I can cut the lawn. How did it happen? Well, at our church, Jesus is there. And Jesus did it. Isn't that exciting? Let Jesus do it. Let go and let God have his way in your life. And you will have the best life ever. Thank you very much for the privilege I could be here. Thank you.
If you allow him, he can go for the rest of the day. But we are going to have a break. We're going to bring on somebody who he has trained, one of our own pastors. And we'll bring him back during the time when first, after lunch, we're going to bring him back. And he's going to continue on the second anti-aging 2. And we'll get him back sometime in the evening when individuals who are at work, when they are able to come, we'll bring him back that he can share some of his life-changing principle with us. You know, there's something about somebody who telling you that, you know, they are selling a product that will make your hair grow, but they are bald-headed. Then you can't trust that person. But if a man tells you that he's 81 going 82 and he can do those exercises and he's a living product of what he wants us to do. So he will come back and share his own testimony and he will tell us what he has learned and how to match science with the practical way of living. So thank you, David, for sharing with us. That was giving the foundation. And when he comes back in the afternoon after lunch, he will give you more specifics and testimonies of individuals who actually are alive today because they have learned how to drink, how to alkaline their body, to make their body alkaline, because as I heard from him, you don't get sick until your body is acidic. And anything we can do to change our body from being acidic to become alkalinic, then we are going to live longer and healthier and happier. One of our own pastors from Jamaica served this conference and has gone abroad and has learned more, and he's willing to share some principles, natural remedies for disease conditions. Pastor James Patterson was trained by Dr. Baltes, and I'm going to ask Pastor Patterson just to come and to just give us of his own life experience, and he can share some tips with us on how we can live longer, healthier, and happier. Pastor Patterson, God bless you. You want to share with your members here and our friends and family far abroad, those in cyberspace, how we can live healthier. So some natural remedies. And what I have learned is that what makes you live longer is not the high polluted scientific things, just a natural thing. You just go out in the sunshine, you just drink enough water, you just rest. And one thing we learn about the Seventh-day Adventists believe that you must take one day and rest. Rest not only physically, but have mental rest, spiritual rest, and that is why we keep the Sabbath. Elder James, you want to share with your members and our friends abroad abroad, those in cyberspace, some natural remedies. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Nathan. Good morning, everyone. I said good morning. As long as you are alive, it's a good day. Amen. Today, what I've been doing for the last few years, I am not in the attitude of giving information. I'm here to share what God has given to me. What I found out is we are in an information age. The problem is we have a lot of information about health, but we're still sick. So there's a problem. So knowing is not the problem. A lot of what we need are in our books. We go to our ABCs and other places. We have a lot of books, but we're still sick. So God and I had a conversation some years ago, and I asked the Lord to help me to help my people. And out of that experience, we have seen diabetes, with David's help, reverse in 5.5 months. You didn't say amen out there. We had one sister who came to me. She had stage 4 lung cancer. What did I say? When I knocked on her door, she took about 5 minutes from her bed to get to the door. And this is what happened. She was, Lord, Pastor, it's only you, me, and God now. There's a lot of pain in the back because of the lung cancer. She said to me that she had maxed out chemotherapy, and the doctors gave her 3 months to live. Family came from Jamaica. This happened in Florida. She's a Jamaican. Family came from Jamaica, from England, from other parts, to visit her. Most folks didn't expect her to live. How many months they gave her? And I said to her, I cannot promise you anything, but with God all things are possible. So we worked and we worked, but the key is she believed. Folks, I can tell you everything about carrot juice, grapeseed extract, aloe vera, all of the stuff that I've studied. But if you do not believe, I can't help you. It's your mindset that determines the outset. The input determines the output. Do you believe that God is able? Now here's the long and short of that story. This month makes about 3 years, 2.5 months. She's alive. Remember, she was on the way to the cemetery, stage 4 lung cancer. Hello, somebody? And in 5.5 months, we took her off the oxygen tank. That's a miracle. Now she has her own farm in Florida. And guess what? She's traveling back and forth from Florida and Jamaica. And she's coming down here to get the leaves you are not using. And she's selling those leaves, soursop, fen steak. Hello, somebody? She's using the stuff you are looking at. Mango leaf, that's good for diabetes. Avocado leaf, that's good for diabetes. She's coming down here and taking your leaves you are looking at and selling it in America, and people are getting better. But as my trainer David said, the key, folks, is water. Water is the foundation to life. Now I want to share something with you. Could someone turn to me on Mark chapter 9? Mark chapter 9. And we're going to read verse 50. Mark chapter 9, verse 50. I want to share something to you from the Word of God. Mark 9:50. Could someone read that for us? Mark chapter 9, verse 50. Anyone? Mark 9:50. Anybody here? Mark 9:50.
Salt is good, but if the salt have lost his saltness, wherewith will ye season it? Have salt in yourselves, and have peace one with another.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share something very important to you. Have you heard that it has been said that if you have too much salt, you will have hypertension? Have you heard about the low salt diet? All right? Now, there's a doctor who wrote a book entitled Salt Kills. Salt kills. The doctor says salt is one of the main culprits for the disease conditions we are experiencing. But in this passage, Jesus, the great physician, says salt is good. My question is, who do you believe? I'm setting you up. I'm a teacher. Who do you believe? The doctor made by God says